are going to be taking a recycled Dell computer, adding one of these preloaded 3 terabyte gaming hard drives from China, doing a couple little upgrades on this PC here, Xbox 360 controller, and we're turning it into a massive emulation machine. This thing is going to play everything from Atari all the way up to the Nintendo Wii U and Sony PSP. So here's the setup. We got the 3 terabyte hard drive external. This is a really old i5 2500K. We got a 300-watt power supply. I'm adding in a GT710. It's actually a full-size card I had to just take off. Went from 8 gigs of RAM to 16 gigs of RAM, added a SSD for faster boot times, and that's it. The processor is going to be stock, and you can see I got the graphics card to fit in here. And then I went ahead and updated Windows. So all in all, I'm $40 or so into this machine. Next, we're going to put the hard drive on, read the README. You have to install DirectX and all the Microsoft visuals. Here's a sped up version of that, and then we're going to boot up the hard drive. And you're going to notice there's going to be some lag. And that lag is the hard drive. I mean, why not start with some Mario Kart? Ooh, we got Mario Kart GP, DS. Let's do like Nintendo 64, where we're emulating on this older computer here, which is cheaper than a Raspberry Pi potentially, or right around the same cost, but much more powerful. And so the Raspberry Pi runs N64 just fine, but let's at least start here, and just to see that we can match that. So you can customize all this. Right now it has like shaders on, but it looks pretty good once you're in the game. You notice that back when we were in the menu, it didn't. Whoa, nice start. Don't worry. Wow. Oh, we're now in the PSP emulator here, playing one of the more harder games to emulate. And this image was on
there you go, rendering at 4x. Let's try 2x.
Yeah, so lowering that down. Now we can run it
at full frames
2x.
2x. It's running. It's not too bad, actually. You're dropping some frames, though. You can see. I'd probably run it in 2x.
PlayStation 2, Burnout 3, we're starting to see the limitations of this build. If you were simply to get the 1030 or the 1050, this would run flawlessly. It's just my graphics card's limiting it. Now we're moving over to Atomiswave, Dolphin Blue. It's going to have no issues whatsoever. So arcade games, main games, Atomiswave, they're going to run 100%. Moving over to Sega Saturn here, Mortal Kombat 3.
All right, we got the Sega Saturn.
And zero lag. Zero lag. It's going to run just fine. Moving over to the Wii U, some Mario 3D Worlds, and as you see here, it's a little choppy. You can mess with the resolution even down. I found this good midpoint, but you could play Wii U on this thing. So I got my Dell at a garage sale for like 10 or 20 bucks. That's the best thing to do. You can find these at garage sales all day. But if you don't want to go out, you just want convenience, you can find them on eBay. Here's one for $90. You can see inside, it already has the SSD. It has 16 gigs of RAM, and it has the slot for the graphics card. You will need to buy the graphics card. But these computers around $100 are very, very powerful and very, very capable machines, not just for retro gaming, but all kinds of things. You do need to go ahead and go on Amazon and get or eBay and get a low profile graphics card. Just to give you an idea, I was running the GT710 in the computer that we use for this build, and just compared to a 1030 is a 200% increase. So a massive performance bump if you get a 1030. And you get everything in between, like a 970, something like that could also help. And you can see the difference between a GT 130 and 150, about 88%, so it's significant. But a 1050 Ti and a 1050, not a big. So I mean, if depending on the price, the 1050 to 1050 Ti, not much of an upgrade. But going up to the 1050 is good. check the power, how much power draw these are going to take. Depending on how much power they're going to draw, you may or may not need to replace the power supply. And so I try to avoid replacing the power supply. Now you're getting a little crazy on the cost. But you go on eBay, grab or garage sale, grab this unit, upgrade the SSD if it's not upgraded, the RAM and the video graphics card, and you're rocking and rolling. So as you saw in the video, I'm just using a 3 terabyte pre-built drive. That is going to increase the cost. As you see here, you get them on AliExpress, especially like a new shopper save. Like you could get these on sale like around $60, $70 for a 3 terabyte. The 12 terabyte is going to cost you quite a bit more. There's even a 1 terabyte, but as you see here, you have a few options on the 3 terabytes. And they're all good. If you want to, you can also try Kin Hank. I don't, they're kind of a brand that gets thrown around here and there. But honestly, most of these are fine. What I look for is just that there's more than like 100 sold. Like this one's 700 plus sold, 3,000 sold there, 180 sold. I mean, these aren't just hard drives, but like this one, 62, I might skip on that one. I'd probably go for this one right here. I'll put a link to these in the description below, but you can just grab them for cheap. It is AliExpress, so it'll take a while, but this is international, so anybody around the world can get these. Now with Amazon, I'm in the US, and there are people that have them on Amazon. So here you can see it's about $20 to $30 more on Amazon, but you're gonna get it much quicker. This is 5 days from now, and so it's much faster than where you get somewhere else. And you're going to pay a little more for it though, 10, 20 bucks. So do you want it in a month or do you want it in a couple days? You're going to have to pay for that convenience. The other thing is you have a way better return. Actually, you know what? I disagree. I've had nothing but great experiences with AliExpress returns. You literally just take a photo of it and then within a day you're refunded. So honestly, return wise, it's the same. I wouldn't give one better.
Wow, first is up there.
So there you have it. It doesn't have to be a Dell either. There's a lot of these little small form factor computers. They were in libraries, they were at universities, and now you can find them for very cheap. You can get a much newer processor as well. Like mine was a 2500K. I'm sure you could get like a 5500K or like, 2, 3, 4 generations really newer. And that's going to really help you out as well.
We got 'em.
And then as you saw, you have a lot of little customization you could do. Right now, we're watching me try to go I went from 8th place all the way back to 1st.
Got him.
Let's see if I could take it home here. But this is a really cool machine. I could put it in my living room and put it on my TV and have like an entertainment center. The other thing to think about is that this is a full-blown computer. I can open up a web browser. I can add my Plex library to it and use it as a media server. I could send emails with it. I could, anything you do with a computer, right? Where with a Raspberry Pi, you're going to be running Linux and not Windows. And unless you're a very thorough Linux user, it's not going to be nearly as versatile. Not to mention all the I/O ports and things you're going to get on this. I have like 4 USB ports. I have, VGA, DVI, like all the different adapters and everything you can ask for. And then all while running a fairly low wattage. Like these are 300 watts or less, so they're not going to be too crazy on that. So this is like a really basic build. You saw there, I could beef this thing up with a 1030, and I could definitely play PS2 and maybe even start into the PS3 library. So it's that powerful, and especially if you get this thing cheap, this is the way to emulate. I mean, it's just a really cheap alternative. So anyways, that's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.